Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Blog Star Challenge Day 4. Just waiting for people to come on. I hope that you are relaxed and in a state of mind to learn, because we're going to talk about tech today. As you pop on, say hi. Hi, Chantal. Welcome. How's your day going? Hi, Can. Oh, good. You're excited. Yay. Okay, girls, I decided not to use my light today, but it's looking a little dark. What do you think? I was looking so blown out in the last couple of videos. It's kind of cloudy today. So what do you think? Hey, Beth. Okay, Chantal, welcome. We'll get started in just a minute. So what do you guys think? Should I add the light? Is it too dark on your end when you're looking? I can turn it on really easily. Well, hello, welcome. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Indori. The light's okay, Chantal? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Good to know. Okay, did you guys get to your ideal reader work? I've seen some great profiles being shared in the group the last day or two. You know, that's really the key. That's the key to success, because when you can talk so that your reader gets it and feels like you get them, they're going to become your super fans, and they're going to stop by and read everything that you write. They're going to open your emails. They're going to purchase from you. They're going to sign up for your courses and your coaching. So really narrow that down. I had another thought today when I was reading someone's profile, and a couple more things that you can add to your description is: how is your ideal reader interactive online? Is she popping in only to social media from her phone? Is that her primary use? Or does she use Google a lot to search? Or is she like you and I? Because I know we come from a different breed, you know, we want to be entrepreneurs, and we're online doing all kinds of things. It's just a part of our lifestyle. We're digitally savvy, right? Or at least we try to be. And the rest of the world's not like that. It surprises me when people say, oh, I haven't checked my email yet. Whereas I'm checking my email multiple times a day from my phone. Or, oh, I didn't see that you posted that. I haven't been on Facebook in a while. So it's a part of our everyday routine, but it's not a part of everybody's life the way it is for us. So don't assume that. So really try to understand your ideal reader and where she's at as far as use with the internet. Because for you coaches, you know, if your ideal client isn't online that much, how is she going to find you? Okay, if she's doing like Google searches, then maybe you need to really work on that SEO. Or if she is on Pinterest, then you really want to develop a great Pinterest account. So just try and figure that type of thing out. And then the second thing that I think will be a good tip for you when it comes to blog writing is you guys took your blog topic, and then we narrowed it down, right? I hope that you've done that. I haven't seen too much chatter about that in the group yet, but you want to narrow it down. Remember, we used the example of exercise, where you could talk about all different types of exercise for all different women, for example. But when you narrow it down, then you decide that you are going to talk about exercise that a stay-at-home mom can do from home with her kids, you know, interacting. So that's a very specific blog topic. Uh-oh, looks like I am. Okay, you guys still with me? It looks like I lost some connection. Okay, and regarding that, so now you can take what topics are you going to talk about. For example, A Mom in Red High Heels is beauty, fashion, and hair are the three primary topics that I talk about there. So for my ideal reader, what are her struggles in each of those areas? So skin, the beauty would be like anti-aging. Hair would be like frizz control. She has maybe curly hair, wavy hair, lives in a humid climate, and she needs that frizz control. And for the fashion element, she's confused about how to dress her body type to look good. She's got, large breasts, tiny waist. She doesn't like her legs. How is she going to dress her body type? So breaking down, taking your narrow blog topic, and then take the categories that you want to talk about, and within those categories, figure out what the struggle is for your ideal reader, and bam, you've got all these different blog topics and angles and directions that you get to talk about. Okay? So narrow those down for yourself. You don't have to share them in the group, but just know for yourself that you need that information. That'll really help you connect with her. I'm just going to go back and see. Okay. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Amber. Welcome. I was just talking about a post that I put in the Facebook group this morning, digging a little deeper about your ideal reader. So let's go ahead and get started. We want to get as much in as we can today. We're talking about tech. Don't be intimidated. I can't actually be showing you where to click on a live, so we're not actually going to be doing any tech today. But if you downloaded the notes that I sent you via email about an hour ago, or I posted within the group just a few minutes ago, those will really help you follow along what we're talking about today. And you can, of course, use your journal if you don't want to download and print anything. I totally get that. So you may have seen it in the group, but my husband said, okay, so you screamed on a live video one day, you cried the next day, maybe you need to tell a joke, maybe you need to lighten it up. And I agreed with him, so I found this meme, actually had seen it a while ago, and I thought it was so funny. And so I had to do a little bit of research to find it again because I couldn't remember exactly what it said, but I posted it in the group too. But after I drink coffee, I like to show the empty mug to the IT guy to tell him that I successfully installed Java. He hates me. Isn't that funny? It's totally cracking up. Like, that is my kind of tech. That's my kind of IT, right? It's cracking me up. So we're going to start with some laughter today and just be nice and loose and light. And don't freak out about this because like anything, your mindset matters. So if you go into, when you're ready to actually do all the tech stuff that it takes to launch your blog, and you go into it with a mindset that it's going to be hard, I guarantee it's going to be hard. So go into it with a mindset like, I've got this. Tammy's going to show me what to do. She's going to walk me through the process. I took really good notes. I've got this. So just relax about it and don't freak out. What I noticed from the last Blogstart Challenge is the majority of people didn't actually end up launching their blog because they were scared of the tech, or they started it and then they freaked out because they're like, I don't know what to do, which I totally get, right? It's, I've been there. I've been through that. So I just want you to know I'm giving you what I can do to help to get you started, and I don't want this to be a sticking point for you. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, because we do have a lot of people that said yesterday that they're total newbies to the whole blogging scene, and they don't even have a name picked out yet, which is totally fine. Okay, I didn't expect you to. I needed to gauge the audience regarding that. So we're going to talk about coming up with a blog title. Now, if you already have a business and you already want to put it under that umbrella of your business or your coaching business or retail business, that's totally fine. You may not need to come up with a brand new blog name because it'll just be incorporated into your existing website. It'll just be like a tab on there. But if you have no website yet, you're going to want to pay attention closely to this portion, because you can actually build out a blog platform, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, And that can be like your coaching website. And you can also do retail on the platform that we're going to talk about. So if you have nothing and haven't even started yet, then we're going to start with the name. So here's a few tips. Keep it short. Mom in Red High Heels is pretty lengthy. When I'm telling people my email address, tammy@amominredhighheels.com. You know how often you have to give your email address? So it's pretty lengthy. Also, for my particular name, I've got the high and the heels. So I've got the double H at the end of high and the beginning of heels. And people frequently leave off one of the H's, or they leave off the S. Or I even have people leave off the red, a mom in high heels, or a mom in red heels. You know, there's all these different variations. So the shorter that you can make it, then the easier it's going to be for other people to, first of all, remember, and second of all, for you to, you know, type out. You have to type it out a million times a day. Hey, this is Tammy from amominredhighheels.com, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's just a lot. So short is better. A lot of the short domain names, the URLs, are already taken, and they're worth money. So if you happen to stumble across one that maybe isn't something you want to use, but it's a really great URL, I totally recommend snagging it up. You know, it's like a $10 investment for a year, and see if you can resell it. But that's a side business. That's a total side note. Don't get stressed out about that. Okay, so short, easy to spell. Okay, you don't want to use one of the blog names that I had considered was On the Beauty Aisle, which I thought was a really great beauty review website name. And I considered it, and I almost bought it, but Aisle, A-I-S-L-E, was a sticking point because a lot of people misspell it, don't know how to spell it, and that would be really frustrating to know the name of something, but you can't find it because you don't know how to spell it. So just consider, you know, is this easy to spell? And if you think it's easy, go ask, you know, your 5th grader or 3rd grader. That's a really good gauge. The majority of adult people have the reading and vocabulary of an 8th grader, the levels of an 8th grader. So you don't want to use anything that's too complicated. Really keep it simple. Avoid making up words like shoes with a Z. Just again, for that simplicity factor, just for keeping things where you don't have to spell out your URL every single time that you're giving it to someone. Also, the using the number instead of the word, like for. A lot of people do the number 4 instead of FOR, and it's totally doable, and you possibly do it because the other version is already taken. But just keep in mind, every single time you're sharing that, you have to explain that. Number 4, the number 4 instead of the word, okay? Just something to consider. There's nothing wrong with it. Just consider it. And then last, make sure that you're spelling it correctly. Make sure that you know how to spell it correctly so that you don't accidentally write a domain name and, you know, a blog name that you really love, and you're like, this is so awesome, and it's available, and I can use it, and then you pay for it, and you realize that you spelled it wrong. Okay, is it an A instead of an E? That type of thing. So just double check yourself or have someone else proof it for you just to be sure. It's better to be safe than sorry. So dictionary.com it. If you are an expert in an industry, so coaches do this a lot, if you want to use your own personal name, that's a really fantastic way to go. Now, if you're just starting out, you don't have to. Marie Forleo did not start out with marieforleo.com. She started out with whatever the name of her first book was. I can't even remember, but it's always good to purchase the domain name of your own name for future use if you're not going to use it right now. And I even recommend that you purchase the domain names of your kids. It's a small investment, but someday they might want to use that for their own profession, and it's really cool when you have it available for them. So if you are using your name and it's taken, then you have some options. So let me share my own personal example. TammyGibson.com has been taken for years, but it's the woman is a Pilates instructor, and it has been TammyGibson.com website coming soon for like a decade. I keep checking back on it, and finally a couple of years ago I actually contacted her and I said, hey, you haven't used this website, could you sell it to me? I really want it. And she said, no, I'm just starting to design my website. So I checked back in like 6 months later and still nothing had been done. So I know she's really not ever going to use that website. And it's unfortunate that it's a waste, but maybe she's reserving it. Like I just said, reserve your kid's name. So maybe it's just being reserved or whatever. So they got it first. She got it first. So I had to come up with an alternate. So that's why I have TammyGibsonOnline.com. And online fits what I'm doing because I'm teaching women how to make an impact and an income online. Everything that I do is online. So that totally fits for my purposes. You could add your middle name. So mine would be Tammy Sue Gibson, which I didn't want to do, or it was taken. I can't remember specifically. At one point, I did use Tammy S. Gibson. I got that one, and my son's like, it looks like Tammy's Gibson. So we scratched that one. So you have to just like play with it, write them down, just like brainstorm what you could do. Adding on, maybe Tammy Gibson blog I could do, or Tammy Gibson style, or Tammy Gibson business, or Tammy Gibson coach. So you can just add an extra word to the beginning or the end of your name if your name is already taken. Okay. If you are creating a blog, it's really dark. Are you guys sure that's okay? I can turn my light on. If you are using your blog as an extension of an existing business, so say Michelle has a bakery, so her business website is Michelle's Bakery. Still come up with a cute name for your blog, like Sweet Treats or Daily Treats or something like that. That's still cute rather than Michelle's Bakery blog. Okay, you want it to be enticing and fun and relate to your ideal reader rather than just being blog. So check out those types of names. Try to get creative with that. If you are in the coaching industry, you could, you have your blog incorporated into your website. So rather than having a tab that says blog, okay, so I'm on a coaching website and it's got work with me. You could look at Tammy Gibson online. Actually, I have blog. I need to change that. Actually, I think it works for me because I'm a blog coach. But you could have like resources. If you're a health coach, you could have healthy living resources, or you could have empowerment tips. And that's like the tab that's the name of your blog rather than blog. Okay, just something to consider. Your blog name should be descriptive of what it is that you are doing if you're not using your own personal name. So here are some examples of blogs that do exist, and by hearing the name of them, you'll know what the blog is basically about. So Hello Fashion, Girl with Curves, Pinch of Yum, Serious Eats, and Your Modern Family. So those are nice and short, they're cute, they're catchy, and you get an idea of what the blog topic is about without knowing anything else. So that's what you want to consider when coming up with your own blog name. So now I'm going to give you a few ways to come up with the perfect blog name for you. And we're going to go over multiple ways. So the first one is a 2-word system. Okay, so it sounds cool. It's keeping it short, like a lot of the ones that I just read to you. So here's a few more. Urban Homestead. So that would be about, the home in the city. Cashmere and Cupcakes. So that blog is about the finer things in life. Coffee and Glow. Coffee and Glow is the blog of our very own Jane. And she talks about coffee, getting through the day as a single mom with her coffee, and things that help you glow as a single mom and uplift you and make you feel good and help take care of you, because life is so hard when you're a single mom. So Coffee and Glow. And Harper and Harley is another one. And those are just 2 names. So you could use names of your children, or they could be last names. If, maybe your maiden name and your married name, if that fits together. You want to make sure it sounds good and that it flows and, the syllables are consistent. So just, roll it off your tongue. Ask people, does this sound good? What do you think about this? But a 2-word blog title name is a good way to go. And the next thing that you could do is go on Amazon and search the industry that you are in. You want to search the best sellers from that industry. So find the best-selling books. An example is if you go and you look up self-care, the best-selling books in self-care. The book titles are, here's a few of them: The Self-Care Project, The Mindful Life, Soulful Simplicity. And I look at all of those, and any one of those would be really fantastic blog titles, blog names. But because they're a book of some, that somebody already wrote, there's a likelihood that that blog is already taken by the author because it's the name of their book. So you can take words, extract words from a couple of different books to create your own. So from those 3 examples, I extract Simplicity Project. And my blog would be about how to simplify your life. Okay, then you can go and you can also look at the subtitles of books. So you got the main title, then you've got the subtitle, and you go within the category of business, and there's $1 Million Coach, Business Coaching Toolkit. I kind of like the word toolkit, I kind of like the word million, but nothing's really striking me. Then I get to Gutsy Glorious Life Coach. And her subtitle is How to Turn Your Life Coaching Practice into a Soulful Money-Making Business. And I'm like, wow, I really like that. I like the feel of that. So I could come up with a blog name of Soulful Money Making. Okay, so you see how you take ideas that are already popular, because these are best-selling books, and books already within my industry, and you just take inspiration from those titles to create your own name. So Amazon is a fantastic resource. Another way to come up with a blog name is from your own life, experiences from your own life. A Mom in Red High Heels that comes from my husband giving me a pair of high heels that were red one Christmas. And I'd never owned a pair of red high heels. And it was really empowering. It felt very bold for me to wear them. Now it's like, it's just what I do. I'm used to it. But before I was very neutral, blacks and nudes. And these were like hot. These were sexy. I liked the way that they made me feel. And especially when I was in the midst of motherhood with young children, I needed those opportunities to feel good about myself personally, to really elevate how I'm feeling about the way I look, because usually it was, not so glammed up. And so I just really liked the empowerment feeling that came from that name. This red, we talked about before, is just very bold and powerful, and high heels to me, it brings to mind power and a woman who's taking charge of her life. And then the mom, the portion of it is, not all moms want to be in tennis shoes and yoga pants all day long. There's moms out there that like style, and they like to wear their high heels and get dressed up on average days. So that's where my name came from. It was just something within my life that really had an emotional impact on me, and that's how the title came from. So think about your own life and what experiences you've had or what items you own that have a lot of meaning, and see if you can turn that into a blog name. Okay. Now, once you have an idea of what you want your blog name to be, I want you to do a Google search or a Yahoo search, whatever. Go and do a search for that name and literally type it in. So amomandredhighheels.com, like type the whole thing in and see if anything pops up. Then type in just the name without the .com, a mom in red high heels, because there could be that name under .net, .info, .tv, so you just want to see what pops up and dig around, discover if it's already taken. And the reason I want you to do that instead of going to, Bluehost immediately or GoDaddy and searching for that domain name is because I have this theory and it's unconfirmed. And I've only experienced it on GoDaddy, but I have searched for domain names before that were available, and they were good domain names, and I wasn't ready to purchase because I still had to consider. And the next day, or even within a few hours, I went back, it was no longer available. And I just don't trust that it's really been taken by someone else. I think that they see that something's been searched for, so they hold on to it, so it has a higher demand, and then they can charge a higher price for it because not all domains cost the same. It's just a theory. I don't know if it's fact, but just do your Google searching before you actually go search if it's available, okay? All right, so now once you kind of have this idea of what you want your blog name to be, I want you to go to the social medias that you are active on and that you plan on using. And I would suggest only 1 or 2 to really focus and build those rather than being on all 16 of them or whatever, okay? So go to the 2 main ones, the 1 or 2 main ones you're going to be on, and see if that username is available. A Mom in Red High Heels is really too long, so I shortened mine to A Mom in Red. So for that blog, I have A Mom in Red as my handle for Twitter and for Instagram and Pinterest. So, check that out because you want to be matchy-matchy. You want to have your blog name and your social media names associated and the same as much as possible with just a few tweaks if you need to tweak the name because of length or whatever, okay? Now, I have to warn you, coming up with a blog name can send you down the rabbit hole. You can literally spend weeks, and I've done it. This is how I know. Thinking and processing and questioning and being unsure if this is the right name. Is this really what I want? Is this the identity that I want for my blog? Don't do that to yourself. Give yourself 48 hours. You come up with a name, give yourself 48 hours to think on it and process it if you're having even a little bit of doubt, okay? And then just get it. Just go with that name because your blog name, like the look of your blog, the branding of your blog, is not what's going to make your blog successful. What's going to make your blog successful is the great, valuable content that you create and you're being able to identify with your ideal reader. Those are the key components to success, not the name, not the branding. So yes, they're important, but don't waste time on these things. Don't get yourself into this frenzy over it because all it's going to do is cause you to procrastinate getting your blog launched. Okay, so a domain name, you've heard me been saying this. Your domain name is usually the same as your blog name. The domain is the what you put into the URL or into the browser bar. So it's the URL TammyGibsonOnline.com. That's my domain name. It's also my blog name. You can have a different domain name and a different blog name if, for example, the blog name that you really want, the domain is already taken. So you could do something like, I could have a blog that's called Tammy Teaches Tech. And I could have the URL be blogtech.com. Okay, so your actual URL can be different if you need it to be different for length or because it's not available, that type of thing. That's okay, but just know that you're going to be explaining that Okay, so if you're telling somebody about Tammy Teaches Tech blog, blah, 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 and they're like, oh, that's great. So I go to TammyTeachesTech.com and I'll be like, no, you have to go to blogtech.com. Okay, just know that that's going to be a bit of an issue, but you can get around it with good SEO, which we talk about later. Okay, the next thing you need to know about when you are ready to purchase your domain name is the domain extensions. Those are the .com, .tv, .me, .info, .org, all of those things. And they have a lot available now. A lot. It used to be .com or .org, and those were your choices. But because there are so many websites, they've had to add those extensions and give you options. And you can go with whatever feels good for you. If you're going to do a lot of video, I even suggest doing a .tv. I have purchased a .tv and then I haven't used it yet, but that's something on my goal list to do. So if it's going to be a lot of that, then you can do the .tv. .me is popular as well. So the only caution that I want you to look at is just make sure if the .com is taken to check out what the .com is. And if it's something within your industry, you probably shouldn't use that name because it's going to be really confusing for your reader to go to urbanhomestead.com where it's about houseware and decor, when yours is urbanhouseware.info, where you talk about, hiring you as a designer for your house. So just make sure that the other extensions are not competition for you. And you could, if you're using the exact same name with just a different extension, you could get sued, and you don't want to mess with that. Okay. Now, let's get to the pieces to set up your blog. We're going to talk about 3 different pieces. First, we talked about the domain already. Okay, that's your name. So that's the first piece. So when you go to make your blog start living on the internet, then you are going to purchase that domain name. That's your very first step. Then you have to decide on a content management system. That's a CMS, content management system. That's the platform of your blog. That's where you're going to write your posts and add your images and put in your SEO, all of that management type stuff. That happens on your CMS. And there's many content management systems out there, like some of these you've probably heard of: Blogger, Squarespace, Wix. But if you're serious about being a professional blogger and using it to make income, I'm strongly suggesting WordPress.org. I'm going to emphasize .org. There is a difference, and it's super confusing, and it's like type 1 diabetes versus type 2 diabetes. They are 2 very different diseases. One comes when your pancreas fails. One comes when your pancreas is getting worn out because of lack of exercise and too many carbs, too much sugar, unhealthy living. So when my daughter got type 1 diabetes at age 5, I had people telling me, well, she's not fat. Why does she have diabetes? And it's really rude, first of all. But second of all, it's just a lack of education. And I don't like that they have the same name. And if everybody is serious in being an activist within that world, that would be something that I would want changed, because it confuses people. And I think it would be better for them to have separate names. Well, the same thing is true for WordPress.org and WordPress.com. This is the main difference that you need to know. WordPress.com is a free website, free hosting. Okay, you don't have to pay for hosting, which sounds fabulous, right? But the problem is you have to have your domain name .wordpress.com. So if I were to use .com, WordPress.com, mine would be TammyGibsonOnline wordpress.com. That whole entire thing would be the URL that you would have to put into the browser to find my website. Versus wordpress.org, which you do have to pay hosting for, but it has so many more advantages. You have so much more control over it, and you have all of these great plugins, which are just pieces of code that you use to make your blog function and look the way you want. So there's a lot more flexibility, even though you are paying to have it hosted. But the biggest factor is just the fact that you get to have your URL, you get to own it. You are TammyGibsonOnline.com, you are yourwebsite.com, or whatever your extension is, okay? So that's the biggest difference, but I just wanna make sure you understand that. So if you go into your Google and you say WordPress and you do a search and you get brought to the .com site, you need to understand that is not where you wanna be, okay? Just understand those differences. Okay, so when we are setting up your blog, the tech portion of it to get it launched, I want you to think of it like this. Remember I said there's 3 pieces to it. I want you to think of it like a home. Your domain name, your URL, is the land. It's the address of your home. Okay, so your domain name is the land, the address of your home. The hosting is the framework of your house. It's the walls, it's the roof, it's the foundation. The hosting is the framework of your house. And then the content management system, the CMS, and the one we're talking about is WordPress.org, WordPress. That's the furniture and the decor within your house. That's what makes your house pretty and functional inside, okay? So if you think of it like that, then you can see that each piece has an important role to play, and you need to choose wisely when you are choosing to have the most functioning and fabulous blog possible. So let's talk about hosting, because we've already talked about the domain. Hosting is basically renting space on someone's server for you to have your blog on the World Wide Web, for you to be seen from cyberspace. If you don't have hosting, then your blog's not going to be seen. You can have a WordPress website and not have people come to it, right? So you have to purchase hosting when you're using WordPress. And you don't need to have a high price hosting. I learned my lesson big time for years, literally years, because I was told by someone that I trusted and admired in the blogging industry. I paid nearly $100 a month for web hosting. Looking back on it, it's the most ridiculous business decision I've ever made. It was a huge expense. But at the time, you know, a couple years into it, I was so scared to move servers because I didn't want to lose my blog. I didn't want to lose information. I didn't understand that the process was pretty painless and that the tech of the hosting websites would help with that, because of course they want to migrate you over so you're a customer of theirs. So I also kind of wondered, was I going to get the same support? Was I going to get, was my site going to be down a lot because I'm on a shared server? All of that type of questioning that I had that prolonged my move. And it was just painless once I decided to do it. And I did it just essentially because I could no longer afford $100 a month for my hosting. And it was just a cost that didn't sit well with me. So I moved the blog, and I am now with Bluehost. I have never had downtime the way that I did with the $100 one, which I frequently had downtime, meaning my blog wasn't loading because their server was having issues or whatever. So it was pretty painless. So I am recommending to you to not worry about a high price because it's more elite, it's better. We're starting out, if you think you need something more later, then you can start researching that later. But to start, I am highly recommending Bluehost, and here's why. When you use hosting with Bluehost, they give you a free domain name. If you go to GoDaddy, for example, you're paying $10 minimum for that domain name, up to literally thousands of dollars. I have had people contact me and say, like, my name is taken, and I contacted the person, it's like $3,000. Okay, that's not okay for you to pay that. Don't pay that. But with Bluehost, you can get your free domain name as part of your hosting package. The control panel in the back end, where you will be doing minimal work, not much, but where you can control your email and different types of things, that's really simple to use. They have great tech support 24/7. And I have a referral link for you, which gets you until the end of May. This is a special that Bluehost is running right now. Until the end of May, you can get it for the cost of $2.95 per month. $2.95 per month. After May, then that link will go up to, the price will go up to $3.95 a month, and the normal price that you would pay would be $7.99 a month if you don't use my link. It is a referral link. It is an affiliate link. I will get a small kickback for referring you, but honestly, I've worked with a few different server companies, hosting companies, and they're really the best that I have worked with. Plus, I know how to use it. So if you guys need help, I can help you. So that's like really the biggest factor in my recommending it, is that I know how to use it. And you do have to pay for your hosting up front. You have to pay a full year. So even though it's $2.95 special price right now, you do have to pay for the entire year up front. But you have 30 days to get a refund if it's just something happens where it's just not going to happen for you to have your blog, or you change your mind on the name or something like that, then you can get a refund. So you have 30 days to do that. Another thing that I like with Bluehost is they offer SiteLock services. So SiteLock is a website security system, and it's like $1.99 a month if you get it through Bluehost. And basically what it does is it secures the perimeter of your coding, which I don't understand all of the ins and outs of it, but it can detect if your website has been hacked at all. And trust me, your website will get hacked. I know that sounds terrible, but it happens, and it's happened to me more than I want to think about. Before I had SiteLock, I actually pay SiteLock now. I have upgraded my service so that if something happens, I don't even need to know about it. They clean it up and I move on. But at one point when I had my boutique like 15 years ago, I literally had my website hacked, where you go to my URL and it was this laughing digital guy. And it was just really ugly. And he was laughing because he had hacked my site. And that's what my visitors were seeing. And it was just a violation. And it doesn't feel good when your blog baby has been violated. So, and then throughout the years, occasionally my blogs have been hacked because they get like code in them. And so these advertisements pop up, which are not my advertisements. And so it wasn't as intrusive, but it's still intrusive. So I do recommend that you do have some site security, and that's an option when you sign up, and you can, it's $1.99 a month, or you can uncheck that and not get that. That's an option for you, but I recommend it. Okay, so those are the essentials, and I can't get into too much of how to set up your blog without having like a webinar walk you through it. I am working on creating a video that shows you step by step how to do it. And then the next step is to design your blog. What colors do you want, creating the categories, the menu, the blog posts, all of that type of stuff. That's like a whole nother thing. But since you're all going to be using different themes and different, setups, I can't really do a group coach on that. So what I would like to offer all of you, and I'm in the process, I'll have the website up tomorrow, is I will be offering a hour-long Skype coaching session with me for $100, where I walk you through, we talk on Skype, you're in control of the cursor and doing the action so you can learn how to do it, because it's important to know how to do it yourself so that you can go in and make changes throughout time. And I'll just walk you through, talk you through how to get that set up. So I'll be offering that for $100 for 1 hour of Skype time with me. Or if you sign up for Project Blog, I will be offering that additional 1 hour for only $25 more. So you can get Project Blog, an hour of tutoring with me to get your blog looking the way that you want it to look at the back end of it, and for only $25 more. So I was up pretty late last night trying to get all of that stuff together, and I had some technical difficulties with the video I was creating for you guys, so that didn't happen today, but it will be up probably later this afternoon. However, I do have a reference for you, and for all of you for watching this live, this is your gift and prize today. I'm super happy about it because I think it's really going to help you get over the tech fear. I have created for you how to start your blog using Bluehost and WordPress document that is now live on TammyGibsonOnline.com. And if you downloaded the page, the handout today, that URL is on there, and you can just click that and it'll take you directly there. And it's a step-by-step guide with images and what it is that you need to do to get your blog live. Launched. That's our whole goal, right? So once you get that domain name, you figure out that you're going to go with WordPress, you figure out that you're going to go with Bluehost, then you just follow those steps, and now your blog can actually be live, and now all you have to do is go in and make it look pretty, and then get it set up using the WordPress back end of it, okay? And that's where I would come in and help you if you want that help. So I hope that resource guide is going to ease your pain. And I think it will. I think it'll be really, really good. And I look forward to your feedback on it. If you think, I need a little more help in this area, or this is fantastic, I would love to hear your feedback on it. So when you are ready to buy your domain, go to that page. Please use my Bluehost link that's on there. Like I said, it's just kind of my way of getting payment from them for referring you and doing this live training with you, okay? All right, now I wanted to talk, so that's it basically for the training for today. Wait, there was something else, hold on. Oh, themes. In the training document that I created, I did talk about themes, picking a theme a little bit, but I want to just tell you that that is another thing, like picking a blog name, that can send you down this rabbit hole. You can get so stuck because there's like 9,000 WordPress themes, 9,000 or more. There's probably more. You can literally be clicking and clicking and clicking to find the perfect format for you, the perfect theme. And essentially the theme is going to be the layout and the look of your blog. So they show you an example, and minus their stock images and the use of your own images, that's basically what your blog's going to look like. If you get a free WordPress theme, which comes free with Bluehost, it's a one-click thing, it's super easy to install. The free ones are more limited on your design element, like you might not have font color choices, or you might only have just a handful of them. And some of the functionality, like you're only going to have a right sidebar versus a WordPress theme that you can actually pay for, where you can have more flexibility on how it's set up. Now, if you're doing this as a business, there's going to be money that you have to invest in your business, right? So you can easily invest $30 to $50 to get the theme that you really, really want. Like you see the free version and you see the paid version. Really consider if you're doing this as a business, really consider upgrading to that paid version. If you want to look at amomandredhighheels.com, it's a $50 theme. I paid $35 for it because it was on sale at that time. Memorial Day is coming up, so they might be having sales. And I just really like the functionality of it versus the free version of it. I have more flexibility with it, and I can customize it more. So when you're looking at WordPress themes, you just want to think about those two things. You want to think about the basic layout of the example they're giving you. Does that vibe with you? Does that feel good to you? And then you want to think, do I want more flexibility, or am I good just starting out with the free and using what they have? When you look at well-established blogs and corporate blogs, they have money behind them. So you're not going to get the same look and functionality with a free version. And you're probably not going to get the same look and functionality without having a designer help you, because they have money or they have coding experience to make those things happen. But basic WordPress themes are easy for you and I to navigate because you don't need that kind of coding. So just look at the example they have and then pick one. Don't go down the rabbit hole of looking for weeks. Pick one, give yourself an hour to go through them and then just go with it. Write down your top 3, think about it for overnight or whatever, and then just go with it. So don't go down that rabbit hole. Okay? And I do talk about that a little bit more on the document, so you can check that out for more information. All right, so before we get to questions, I want to talk about Project Blog. I haven't talked about it too much this week. And I really want to encourage, if you're serious about blogging for business, you're going to have your blog live, and then you're going to be going, okay, now what? What do I do? Do I just put up blog posts? What do I do? There's so much more to being a professional blogger and making money with your blog than just putting up a blog post. You have to really consider, the SEO and how you use social media to interact with your blog and how you bring traffic in and how to write a really good blog post, how to write that good content. You have to know how to create a really good About Me page that's going to entice people to want to work with you, and brands as well as, ideal readers. And you have to know how to present yourself as a businesswoman and have the mindset of a businesswoman. We're not in this for a hobby. We're in this for a business. That's why you're here in this challenge. So Project Blog is that tool that's going to help you take your blog to the next level. It's an 8-week course that's going to help you get more traffic, more influence, and more income. If you're following the Project Blog format, those things are going to happen for you. If you just read the content and you're like, oh yeah, that's a lot. That sounds good, but that's a lot, and you don't apply it, it's not going to happen for you. So it's up to you, really. But if you go into the 8-week program with the intention of making it happen, then it's going to happen for you. And the other thing I wanted to talk about with you ladies that are doing a blog as a complement to a business, you're in your head, I think you're thinking the blog is a support for my business. It's going to bring in traffic, it's going to be good SEO, and all of that is true. However, I want you to consider multiple streams of income. When you are a business owner, you do not want to rely on one source of income. It's really good to have multiple streams of income. So if you're building your blog to make money with ads, with sponsorships, with products and programs, with opportunities for travel and event coverage and that type of thing, then you are going to have these multiple streams of income in addition to your coaching programs that you're offering. So it's really a win-win for you to go through Project Blog and learn how to establish your blog as a support to your business, but also as an independent business, really. It's all under one umbrella of your business. And that's the same for you ladies who are doing network marketing or direct sales with your products. You're making money from those products and that business opportunity, but why not make money using your blog as well? Why not make ad money? Why not make sponsorship money? Why not have opportunities to travel? So it's just something to consider, that you want to take your blog to the next level by making it a business. And Project Blog can help you. And you can check that out at bit.ly/projectblog. And I'll put or maybe somebody who's on can put that in the comments right now. And I just want to share with you Tiffany's testimony. She went through Project Blog this last round, and she shares, Project Blog took the Blogstar Challenge to the next level, and I highly recommend that you make the investment. Not only will you learn so much more about blogging, but you'll gain a valuable mentor in Tammy Gibson. Thank you, Tiffany. She is sincere and truly wants to see you succeed. That's true. Cheering you on every step of the way. I can't say enough good things about Project Blog. So thank you, Tiffany, for that. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure Tiffany, as well as Jane, would be happy to answer questions for you. They've been through the program. They're in this challenge. They're here to support me and continuing their education, which I'm so grateful for. But they're available to answer questions for you too if you have any questions. So remember, you will have the opportunity to upgrade to an hour-long Skype coaching with me for only $25 more if you join Project Blog. Okay, and that closes June 3rd. So you have a week to get that blog up and get some training in there, and let's start Project Blog with a bang so that this summer you can start making money from your blog. Think about it. If you join Project Blog 8 weeks from now, which is going to be like the beginning of August, summer's not even over yet, you're going to be set up to go into the fall and the second half of the year with a solid business blog under your feet so that you can start making an impact while making an income. Okay, questions? Let me put my glasses on, see what you guys are saying. Hey, Catherine. I think it said hi maybe already. Are you guys here? Amber, that tech. Thank you. Somebody's here. Oh, it's Amber. Hi, Amber. Okay, work on the blog name. Try to nail that down by, really be thinking about it tonight. Do some research on it so you can put it in the comments in the group and get some feedback. As long as the URL is available, Amber, I think you can move WordPress.com over, no problem. When I first started blogging, I used Blogger, and that was also the same thing where, it's like tammygibsononline.blogspot.com, and I was able to move, that was a mom in red high heels, and I was able to move that to .com. So as long as the URL is available for that, then I think that should be no problem. And I would assume that, Bluehost could help you with that. Thank you, Amber. It's totally worth it. Tammy is a whiz at setup. I can't explain how much that helps you with your blog. She really invests in helping you. If you're not a tech person, do it. Get her one-on-one coaching. You won't regret it unless you don't do it. Oh, thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I'll get that page set up for you guys. It's almost done. I just didn't want to rush it and have it not be what I wanted it to be just to get it live. So I'll work on that today, and I appreciate that, Amber. That's so sweet. Okay, what would be your recommendation, Ken asks? I don't have a website for my coaching business yet. Would you suggest setting up business website with a blog tab or a separate blog from the business site? Okay, so if you go to Tammy Gibson Online, I have my coaching packages and I have my blog, I have my services all on there. That is a WordPress.org site. That's WordPress. So you don't have a website already that you're attaching a blog to. So I would just start with, whatever you want to call your business, and get that domain name so that that is your main umbrella, and then you have a blog tab on that website. Okay, because you can put like a welcome page, like a home page, so it doesn't, they don't go to your URL and see your blog. So you can put a home page on there, and then you have your menu at the top that's going to have your services, your About Me, your blog tab, whatever you call it, your contact page and all of that. So you can do all of that on WordPress. And Tammy Gibson Online and A Mom in Red High Heels are both like that. I have A Mom in Red High Heels set up a little bit more as a blog where you see the blog posts right away. But I have tabs that have my styling services and my business for that on that one website. So go ahead and just get started with WordPress, because then you're going to already have that platform started, and you're already going to have traffic coming in and people interested in you, and you're already really nailing down who your ideal reader is. And that's the beauty of it, because now you're going to have this audience and you can really poll them and get their feedback on what type of services that they're wanting, that they would pay money for, that they would find value in. So you already have this built-in feedback system. So get started. Don't wait. Don't even think about waiting because you're waiting to get your other business portion started. Get started now, because all of that can feed in and work together. Okay. Any other questions, ladies? That was a great, great question. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you. I hope, tech stuff's a little hard to just talk through. It's really much better to see it. But I hope this overview kind of gives you an idea that there's 3 basic steps. There's the domain name, there's the content manager system, and there's the hosting. That's really all you need to get that blog live and on the internet. And then you have the details of the design and how much you want to customize that. But if you pick a theme that you generally like, it's pretty easy just to get it up and going. So I hope this has been helpful. Go to that link that was on the download so that you can see the step-by-step, and that will give you more of a visual on what it is exactly that you need to do. Pop in any questions, and tomorrow we're going to talk about content, because when you launch your blog, it's good to have content on there so you can announce it and be like, hey, check out my blog, but there's multiple posts for people to read. So tomorrow, content, and we're going to talk a little bit about your email, capturing emails and how important that is for your blog. So tune in tomorrow for our last day of the Blogstar Challenge 2.0. Have a great day. Thanks for the hearts. Love you, ladies. Bye.